Hello everybody, today I'm going to be working on some icons, more graphic stuff. Basically I have this paint program that I'm developing, and I'd like to have a mode where I can switch the size of these button icons to something that's smaller and resembles or more closely resembles the original MS Paint. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I already got a few done here. So let me just continue to work on this. So let's see. I'm also going to probably have to figure out how I want to order this. Probably should match the order I have done over here. So if that's the case, let's see if I can just resize this one. Open file icon. I think that works. I don't think I need to actually do any touch up to this. Maybe just this part. Okay. That's probably the easiest one. Okay, this one's probably going to need some work. Do I add a border around this? Okay. Should probably reorder this now. This should go on top. Definitely need to draw a border around this. Which one should I do? Looks good. Let's see what else. Yeah, okay, I need to rearrange this. Caustic Axis says, nice icons. Well, thank you. Thank you. All right. I think I wanted this one over here and this one over here. Yeah, this order is probably not going to be final. I'll probably have to use this tool more often and then kind of get a feel for where I want things. But yeah, a lot still has to get programmed. Still. Okay, that matches that, that matches that. Okay. Paste icon. Probably going to do the same thing for this. Just make these borders solid. What is my project about? Yeah, it's an MS Paint clone, except I'm just using C and pure Win32. This is what the program looks like right here. So still quite a few features I need to add, just GUI wise. Most of this stuff doesn't, like these buttons don't really do anything right now. I'm just working on getting the layout done first. But this panel on the right, I'm going to have it be expandable or retractable, so you can hit a button and it hides itself. And yeah, the idea is something that's very much like the old Paint, except I'm going to have a lot more features. Things that I would like to have. Because I've been using MS Paint for a very, 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 very long time. And there's just certain things I wish were a bit different. But yeah, like layering, it's kind of like a nice to have thing, but it's not necessary. Hence why I kind of want this panel to be optional. But yeah, yeah, a much larger palette. Yeah, and more tools, kind of like what Photoshop has. So it's just, yeah, bigger version of MS Paint. You could think of it as like Paint plus Photoshop. So it's like a crummy version of Photoshop, but a really good version of Paint. Okay. Yeah, and I need to add this border here. It looks like I can do this just to match the style of the other one. Actually, do I like that better with white right there? Yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, kind of like that. If I do that, I need to update this. Lighter color here. Access says, I love using paint to mess around. You like the layer features. It's one of the best things. One of the things I feel MS Paint really falls off. Yeah, not having layers and not having the option to do like transparency. Like that's the other thing. That's something that I feel would be nice to have, or at least like make it like optional to have. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Access says, I really like that you're making it look like the old one. Feels way more alive than the new one. Yeah. Aesthetics matter, especially for a paint program. But I know a lot of people don't really like the old sort of retro look. But I figure, you know, it's a paint clone, so it ought to look like the original paint. Yeah, I wonder if this thing can actually, since I'm using like pure Win32 stuff, I should probably try building it on like Windows 95 or something just to see how it runs. Because I could probably get this to work on an old version of Windows. Anyways, I need to add the top border on this thing. How am I going to do this? Probably like that. Guess that looks fine. Access X asks, are you planning to release it once you're done? I would love to use it. Yeah, my plan is to eventually make it open source. Once I get far enough with it. But I just want to kind of implement some core features first before I release like some early buggy version of it. Yeah, I think it should work on Windows 95, which is really cool. I like doing stuff where you can basically, not only does it look like, you know, it's from an era, it works with the tech from that era. I'm a big fan of that. So like, if you're gonna make a game that looks like it runs on the NES, then your game should run on an NES. Otherwise, it's kind of an anachronism. Okay, so this icon now goes underneath these ones. But yeah, something I've learned using just C and Win32 is extremely tedious. I'm so spoiled with WinForms and drag and drop stuff. Yeah, and just like learning how to use their API, it's very time consuming. It'd almost be easier just writing everything from scratch, I would say. But yeah, I really wanted to get this classic look, so yeah, I had to use that API and their your utilities like buttons and whatnot. Let's see. Okay, gonna need to resize this. Okay. Access says exactly. That's just what I think of. Lately I've been working on a game inspired by the SNES, and I'm really trying to make it work like an SNES game. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta match the era. Actually, it's SNES. I'm planning on eventually making an SNES game. Though it's going to be a while before I get around to that. But this paint tool that I'm making, that's one of the main reasons I'm making this tool, is because I want to make SNES graphics with it. So paint is really good for, well, these kind of graphics, icons and NES style graphics. But for SNES stuff, it's very, very difficult to make quality SNES graphics with just MS Paint. But yeah, this tool I'm working on, one of the things that I want to add, this effects button will have, what is that called? The whole HD indexing or repalettization, whatever that is called. I want to implement something like that so I don't have to basically build up a pipeline using layers, which is like what you have to use in Photoshop. I'd rather have that just baked right into the app, and yeah, just be able to use what I normally would use in Photoshop to make more sophisticated graphics. So yeah, basically this is going to be like a super pixel art program. But yeah, I know some people have problems with like doing that palette mapping stuff because it's not like true pixel art or whatever. But I don't know, I think it's fine. Access says currently using Construct 2 since it can handle the feeling of the SNES, that including the effects and even the limitations. Yeah, Construct 2, man, I haven't touched that in a long time. I used to use, yeah, I remember messing around with that like maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, it's definitely, yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? It's definitely good for like quickly developing stuff, I would say. Okay. I need to really just move this out of here. Okay. And I want to put this like that, and do that. like I just need to copy this right into here. I don't think I need to add a border around this. I think this will look fine. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Okay. Access says, right now I'm working on a dialog system with JSON files. It's been really hard to do, but I found a plugin that lets you interact with .js features. So I think it'll work. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. We live in a very weird time because if you need like help with anything, it just seems like you can use AI to either teach you how to do something or just to write features for you. I've been messing around with it more and more. Claude specifically. It's pretty crazy what it can do. It's definitely useful if you want to like speed up development. Like if you have a bug and you don't want to, I don't know, waste time debugging, can ask the AI to fix your bug. And depending on how difficult the bug is, if it's simple enough, it'll fix it, which is just mind-blowing to me. Or just adding features, right? Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of demoralizing if you're a programmer, because you spend all this time learning how to do this stuff, and then you know, this machine comes along and effectively just does what you can do but a million times faster. But I don't know, there's pros and cons with this. This also means like you can kind of make whatever it is you have in your mind a lot faster. And maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of ambivalent when it comes to this subject. I know a lot of people, it's a touchy subject, the whole AI thing. Some people really like it, and a lot of people really hate it. And I sit in between. I like it and I hate it. Okay, yeah, that works. Man, this is, yeah, a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Turns out like just resizing this is not difficult as I thought. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it's so much easier going from high resolution to low resolution. It's the good thing I made these icons first. Access says, yeah, I've used AI for stuff when I'm really stuck, and it usually just asks for explanations about how systems and terms I don't use. But it feels bad when I use it to code for me. Yeah, it almost feels like, I don't know, you're like cheating or something when you use AI for coding. Because it's not really, your work at that point. Or maybe it is, I don't know. Probably just depends on how much it writes, how much it codes. Like if it's not doing too much, like if it's just helping you debug stuff, like sure, that's fine. Or if you use it to just, I don't know, do stuff that is really tedious that you don't want to do, sure, that's fine too. But like if I had AI just write a whole app, that's different, right? Like I have there's like no design, right? I'm not doing any design at that point. I guess I wanted these ones. But I like programming and making artwork and music just because it's, I don't know, just because I can, I suppose. It's more meaningful when you're able to do stuff all on your own. But yeah, it makes me wonder how like this AI stuff's gonna affect like the whole open source world, and how people develop programs in general, right? Like it's a huge paradigm shift. If you can have AI develop stuff, it could just be a one-man army. Like in theory, you could just write a whole operating system, just solo dev with AI, right? And that's it's very, very interesting. Thinking like if I like if someone really wanted to, I bet they could just make Photoshop like full on, like not what I'm doing, but just make a full Photoshop program really quickly using AI, and just basically, because you're competing with like, so you have Photoshop, which is Adobe, and then you have like GIMP, which is open source. And if you use AI, like I bet you like someone can just come along, make make Photoshop just purely, like one developer just using AI to make Photoshop, and probably make it even better, which is it's weird. It's like another paradigm shift. It's like on the horizon. But at that point, like if anyone can make Photoshop, like AI is not at that level yet where you just tell it like, here, make this massive software, right, that has millions of lines of code with all these features, some complex system. But eventually it will get there. And at that point, like, it's almost as if like, do you even need to like download software? Like if an AI is so good, it could just generate whatever you need on the fly, and you just ask for that, then it's like, what's the point of having like shareable software, right? That'll be really trippy when things get to that point, which I think they eventually will. Or maybe not. I hope not. But part of me hopes so, because it just sounds interesting. Like my inner computer scientist, is kind of just very curious about this. Like, how sophisticated can computer programs become? Can they become so sophisticated where, they're able to just generate like whatever it is you can think of on the fly, with precision? Who knows? But God, it's just, it's so, I don't know, it's just so nihilistic at the same time. Cause, it just means like all this time I've spent acquiring these skills are just kind of nullified. And I'm nothing compared to these computers that can just spit out art and music and code at such speed. But yeah, I don't know. At least like for me, I just get enjoyment out of making just the process of making. I like just doing that. So that's why I'm like not using AI to make this graphics, right? It's just I like to do it, even though it is very inefficient for me to sit here and go through and tediously rework these things. It's, I don't know, just it has it satisfies a certain itch that I have. Let's see, how is this looking? Ooh, this definitely needs a I need to draw a border around this. Access says, you're so right. It's like that, quote, listening to human music, unquote, part of Detroit becoming human. Yeah. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Yeah, things are just changing so freaking fast. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what the future has in store? Crap, I did not want to get rid of all of those. I want to keep this one. Actually, I think that's fine. Actually, maybe these three? Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I missed your other comment. Loved AI Renaissance, good song, especially for the C64 resampling. Ah, yes. Thank you. Yeah, I wrote that song. Yeah, with these sort of feelings in mind, this sort of ambivalent sensation. Yeah, it's causing me quite a bit of grief, I must admit, this whole AI fiasco. Yeah, I work as a software engineer for my main job, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I need a career change because the writing's on the wall. It's only a matter of time before AI just completely replaces software engineering. And I don't really want to be, like, say it doesn't replace software engineering. It will definitely, if it doesn't replace it, it will definitely change it. And I just don't want to be a prompt engineer. I don't want to be some kind of weird director that just guides an AI. Because that's not really, I just don't see much meaning in that. And I don't think I could take much pride in what I do if that's all I did. So yeah. But then the question becomes, it's like, well, if you're not going to do software engineering, then what am I going to do? And I have no idea. It just seems like all creative avenues are kind of being shut down by AI just because, or at least commercially speaking, right? Like, I still have the ability to make music, and I will do that because I don't really want any commercial value, or I don't want to get money out of it, I should say. I do it just because it's an art I like to do. But in terms of like making a living, yeah, it's like, yeah, what the hell do I do? Okay, this needs to be more of a hard line. Just like this, I would say. Kind of like that. Definitely needs more of this lighter color here. Can't put too much in here. How am I going to do this? A bit tricky. So another thing I don't like about Paint is that you can't go in, you can't zoom in beyond a factor of 8. This might look better here, like that. Access says we're a little cooked at coding. I've been coding my own web page for years, around 4 to 5. I share the feeling. It's so weird knowing that even in graphic design, I'll get replaced. Yeah. At least commercially speaking, right? Because, yeah, market forces just, they demand efficiency, and that which is most efficient is what prevails. And the way I see it, it's like people just aren't efficient compared to machines. Accesses. I remember that when I was younger, for birthdays, I used to create HTML web pages with messages like happy 15th birthday, insert name, and my own message to them. It's weird. Yeah, programming is so cool, isn't it? Especially when you start understanding how programming works and you get experienced with it. Yeah, I remember in like maybe 2005 messing around with HTML. It was so like mysterious to me. And I remember like on oh, what was it? I used to be on what was it? Well, okay, yeah, YouTube. You would people would do like these. They'd make these web crawlers, and they would go around and subscribe to a bunch of pages and do all this cool stuff. And eventually, yeah, YouTube got bought out by Google, and yeah, they changed a bunch of stuff. They changed the layout, and that spawned like all these clone websites of YouTube. One was called Zipcast, and I used to be on that site, and I remember people would exploit that website, and they would do like some cross-site scripting stuff and all sorts of things. And like some people would modify their channel description. And I remember this one guy put like all these elements in there, like a little log on in his like channel description area. Like it was just something. It was something like, "Hello, if you would like, you can give me your username and password," and then have like a text prompt for the username and password. And I remember thinking, like, how did he do that? Because I had an understanding of HTML by that time, but it wasn't that sophisticated of an understanding. Like, I didn't know anything about like SQL injection or any of the common cross-site scripting stuff. All of that was really new to me. So much stuff was just so like vulnerable back in the early 2000s in general, like even late 2000s, especially with when web browsers would have they would support JavaScript execution from like the URL. So you could write like at the end of your website link, someone could just tack on like some JavaScript. The way you do that, you'd say the word JavaScript colon, and then you put the script in there. And I remember like just seeing so much malware that used that. And God, what was it? Someone. This was back when. What was it? When Bin Laden was like assassinated. I remember some malware on Facebook that was going around. I guess it's not really malware. I forget the name of this. I guess it's in the broad category of malware. But anyways, someone would just have this like post that says like, "Oh, see like the footage of this assassination. You just have to copy this link into your URL and hit enter." And it wasn't really a link. It was just JavaScript, and all the JavaScript would do is just replicate the post. So on your feed, it would post that, and it would like spam it to like a whole bunch of other people. So like all your friends would get like a message with the same like JavaScript payload. And I remember like so many people like falling for that, and this thing spread like wildfire all throughout Facebook. But yeah, it was because you could just execute JavaScript right from the URL, and all you'd have to do is just write some malicious JavaScript and have someone click it, and it would run on your machine, and it'd have all of your permissions, and it would just effectively, it's a really effective way of delivering some payload. And what was it? Like, I think once they did away with that, people still tried to get around it by like trying to trick people to open up like the web dev tools and using the terminal console there. And then like browsers got more secure, and they added like extra barriers to that, and they have all these warnings now, like do not copy and paste code, and you have to like manually type allow in the terminal now to allow that. Like let's see, like for instance, if I go here and I do inspect and I go in the console, can I just like copy and paste this? Yeah, see, it's like this thing. Yeah, don't paste code into the DevTools console that you don't understand. So they have all these warnings now in place, whereas before, like, you didn't even have this, you know? You could just literally dump JavaScript up here and then execute it. Or you could just copy this, you know, your URL with your payload and just, you know, hide it in a link like this. So when someone clicks it, yeah, it'll just remotely, you know, execute your JavaScript on their host, their machine. But yeah, so much has changed since then. It's like, yeah, crazy. Yeah, things were so unsecure back in the day. I kind of liked it because it's fun to exploit things. Now it's just like, it's very hard to exploit things. And it seems like if anyone's going to be doing exploiting, it's just going to be an AI. But yeah, Zipcast, that was an old website, all right. Yeah, and I think it was just made by, yeah, some kid. Yeah, the thing did not last very long. Yeah, Vidly. I think Vidly, is that one actually still around? I'm curious. Yeah, Vidly is still alive. I wonder how many users are on this. Active users, I should say. I wonder how many active users there are here. But yeah, I love the aesthetic of the old YouTube. It's so nostalgic for me. Never thought I'd have nostalgia for that. Okay, I don't know if I really like this here. I'm wondering if I should add bits here. Oh, that looks really rugged. Way too rugged. I'll have to mess around with that brush icon later. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want it looking too much like a stamp. Wondering if I should just colorize. Like so. Yeah, I'll mess around with that one later. For now, I just need to get the rest of these guys. Okay. How will this guy fare? Okay, definitely need to draw a border around that. Definitely need to do that. Okay. Here. see, how am I going to do this? Probably like that. And then, how am I going to do this? Okay, it's 2. Like that. Yeah. Access says icons actually look gorgeous. I know I already said it, but really, they're really good. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I have another stream where I actually show myself making some of them, at least. Maybe I can just do without this. Yeah, I think that's... This actually needs to go out one more. And I can draw this like this. Okay, that looks a bit better. I still feel like maybe I should add something down here. Kind of like this one. Like that. And yeah, I think that's good. I might have to touch that one up more. Okay. Which one's next? Spray can and the letter. So let's just do the spray can. Spray can. It's almost a contradiction here. This should be the light side if I'm going to do this. Okay. Okay. Kind of want to make this a bit smaller. does feel like this should probably be lower. Yeah. Access asks, what's your favorite retro system? It's an extremely hard question. Says Amiga is his favorite. Yeah, my favorite retro system. Oh man, that's a hard one. That is a hard one. Well, yeah, I'm not sure how I can answer that. There's a lot of systems I really, really like. Like, Dreamcast is one of my favorite gaming systems. Just because it's just so freaking cool. And I do really like NES. Oh boy. How am I going to do this? Yeah, it's tricky. Tricky question. Yeah, if I had to guess, oh yeah, Amiga is really cool too. Amiga is really cool. Yeah, I really like a lot of systems, so hard to say what my favorite is. Just because I love retro tech in general. Yeah, what would be your favorite like gaming system, retro gaming system? Well, I guess Amiga could be considered a gaming system, just as like PC can be considered gaming. Access says, when I pull to the sound chip competition, my opponents are NES, C64, and Commodore Amiga. Yeah, those are very popular formats. Yeah, NES. That one's really popular. Yeah, I do love writing Amiga music, I must say. Amiga mods are really fun to write. I love the 4-channel restriction. Not the biggest fan of hard panning though. Hard panning kind of, well, yeah, if you wear headphones, it's like not the greatest. I mean, it depends, right? But in general. Okay, yeah, I guess that's good enough. But yeah, XM tunes are probably my favorite to write. Although, yeah, I've written a few impulse tracker tunes now. I do really like that for producing more high quality modules. Yeah, SNES and Amiga for gaming system. Yeah, SNES is really cool. I never really had one as a kid. I did play Genesis though, and I do have a soft spot for it. Just because of that unique sound it's got. And I feel like Genesis games, there's more like, how do I say it? The graphics look a lot better on Genesis games in general, despite the fact that, like, you know, its graphics, it can't like render as many colors as an SNES, right? But I think because it has that more limited palette, it kind of forces developers to, well, it forces people to conform to that. And I think, like, kind of like when you first start off, like, making artwork, if you're presented with too many colors, like, you kind of don't know how to properly, it becomes harder to create palettes, right? Because you have so many options. But when you're forced into a certain situation, when you're forced by the system to, like, have like a palette purely out of constraint, then it can work in your favor. Just something that I discovered on my own. It's like, yeah, coming up with good palettes with if you have lots of colors, it's not the easiest thing. And I feel like a lot of SNES games suffer from that. They've got too many options, and yeah, that can work against you. But I would say, like, if you do know how to use like all those colors, then I mean it works in your favor, right? Like, what's that one game called? Yeah, this one. Yeah, like Demon's Crest. Like, the graphics in that game, probably like the best, like, pixelated graphics that I've ever seen. Like, I'm not sure if I can think of anything that's got better graphics than this in terms of a game. Like, it's just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, okay, I guess like Metal Slug, right? But for SNES, like, it's just so good. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful game. Yeah, shout out to CRT monitors. Yeah, they're my favorite way of rendering images as well. Especially for gaming systems, you kind of need it. I'd say it's like mandatory for like PS1. Like, if you don't have a CRT and you're playing PS1, you're gonna be in for a bad time. Yeah, that must have accesses that must have looked crazy on a CRT. Yeah, it did. It was amazing. I mean, it still is amazing. Those graphics are just 10 out of 10 in my book. yeah, for if and when I make an SNES game, like, I hope to have graphics on that level. But I know it takes time. Lots of time. Because it's not easy to make stuff like that. Unless you use AI. Okay. How do I want this? Yeah, I guess that's good enough. Okay. What do I need to do next? Magic wand. Getting closer here. Alrighty. I wonder how this is going to work. Okay. Definitely have to draw. Kind of want that to look like that. This will probably look like, I don't know. Just use this. Let's see. How does that look? Kinda still want something like this. Yeah, that's much better. Put this like that. Access says I have a lot of pending projects, but on my main focus I have an MS-DOS FPS roguelike, Wolfenstein roguelike. Interesting. 2D DOS game with destructible land. Interesting. Yeah, and then he says, Access says, I have an SNES platformer with Metroidvania stuff, and a terror game that looks like the Doom engine, but it isn't. Yeah, it sounds like you got a lot of projects. Same with me. I do have a lot of projects that I must finish. Yeah, there's just not enough time. At least for me. What are you using for your FPS? Out of curiosity, what are you using to make that is? Also curious about the Doom game as well. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that looks perfectly fine. Definitely need a border around it though. Not sure if I like that. Which will I like better? Light or dark? Access says I was using Construct for the FPS DOS roguelike. Migrated to Love 2D since I want to code the renderer the way I like. Loading 3D in Construct was really hard. Yeah, I've never tried to do that. I wonder if it's like yeah, I've only used Construct to do like 2D stuff. I wonder if it's like Game Maker, doing 3D in Game Maker. Well, old Game Maker, that is. That was, yeah, I remember messing around with that, making some little demo. That was not easy to do. For the Doom horror game, he says he'll probably use Godot. Not sure if that's how you pronounce that or not. If I don't randomly decide to code the engine from zero. I feel like it would be fun to like make an FPS engine. I feel like there's not a lot of people that do that just because it's time consuming and it's not really game dev. It's engine dev. But I like engine dev. Let's see. Sponge. Access says I had to use a plugin called Rojo 3D, which allows you to render 3D objects in WebGL. Can't say I've ever heard of that. Although I don't use WebGL ever, so. Yeah, I suppose WebGL is kind of old now, huh? It's been around for some time. To me, it feels like it's really new. It's kind of odd how I feel like some things that are old, I feel are new. Some things that are newer, I get the impression that they just feel really old. How do I want this? I just have to simplify this. Yeah, I think I just might simplify this. White is too dominating. Love how Access says, I love how I've done music to all these games but never finished none of them. Yeah, tell me about it, man. I've got like 4 scores already done for like 4 NES games that I have. And, well, I was going to say I have the graphics done too, but that's not really true. Yeah, I have a bunch of assets that I made in the 2010s for games, and yeah, I still have yet to use any of it. Yeah, it's weird having all this material that's just kind of sitting on my computer waiting to be used. But I will finish it. I'm very persistent. That's my special ability. And I believe you can finish your projects too. I think the key is just to learn to, like, not always just start something new, right? Like, once your queue gets so big, you gotta learn to, like, cap it and just focus on like what's already on your plate. But yeah, that's tricky to do. Like for me, I have a lot of things that I haven't even started that I really want to start, but I can't start them until I finish some stuff. So like this paint program that I'm working on, I wanted to do this back in like probably 2012 maybe, and I just never got around to it until now. 'Cause, yeah, I was just tired of like not having it. Yeah, I kept putting it off, but now I'm going to finish it. Well, I mean, I just started it. What am I saying? Like, it's just something that's been lingering around in my mind for a really long time. And I didn't want to start it because I had like other stuff that I wanted to do. This light bulb is going to be tricky. Should I just do this? Ugh. Access says, you're right. I guess I should try to focus on the SNES one since it's the one that I have most worked on. Yeah, and it's tricky, right? Because sometimes you just don't feel motivated to work on that. For me, like, I like to... Games are really fun to work on because you can just work on like one aspect of the project, and when you get bored of that, you jump up to another. It's like working on like a bunch of graphics, and then I'll get bored of doing that, so then I jump to music, and then I work on that, and then I get bored of that, and then I'll work on code and work on that. And if I get bored of that, then I jump back to music, or I'll jump back to art. And you can kind of jump around, but it's constrained within, the context of a single project. And that's kind of like what I'm doing right now with this paint program, because I just don't feel like coding right now, so I'm doing this instead. Even though it's not like critical, it's not part of the MVP, it's still something I want, and I'm going to add it to the project anyways, so here I am working on this. Access says, yes, that's it. Yeah, it's the key, and that's the cool thing about being like a solo dev, is you're awarded this luxury where you can just kind of do this jumping around business and you can work on the things that interest you in the moment, so long as you're just moving forward on the same project. Access says, lately I've been just looking at the screen, but when I do focus, I do that a lot. Yeah. No, I hear ya. Okay, and I need to kind of do something like this, and then maybe this. How do I want to do this? It's so dark. I gotta implement this. How am I gonna do this? Huh. Guess that looks better. Is this odd? Damn it, it's even. This might be able to work. I might be able to work with this. I don't know. I was hoping the space of that bulb was odd, so I can put this little pixel on the top, but oh well. that's good enough. Good enough for now, at least. Do I want to do it that? No, that's fine. Okay. Access says, I gotta go. Keep up the good work, okay? Will do. And you too. Good luck on your projects. Stick with them. Don't let them die. Okay. Okay, 50. Ugh. How do I want to polish this? Do I want to add a border around the flame itself? I don't know how that will look. Bad would be my guess. This one is tricky. Bit of a disconnect here. this should almost be like right there. Let's say add this around it. Hard to figure out what to do here. I think I kind of like this one better than this one. If I can do without this, maybe. There's gray in here I could get rid of too. Yeah, I think I like this the best. Yeah, I think that works. I think that works. Just wondering for magnifying glass, if it should be darker. Oh, interesting, that's a different color. Interesting. I think I'll leave it. I think it's fine. And Shu says, keep grinding, bro. Yeah, grind must go on. So much to grind. But yeah, I think I'm at a point where I'm somewhat satisfied. With these. I think this is good. I think this is good. I think this is good. Good, 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 good. These ones, I think I'm going to add a thicker border line around them, just because it's kind of the style I'm going for with these smaller icons. Just curious to see how this will play out. How will that look if I add this? That's the question. Okay, here, there. Do I like that more? Oh, that's tricky. I don't know if I like that more. Say I throw it there. Man, I just don't know. I think I might go with this thicker example. I think I might just do it. Might just do it. So I wonder if I should I extend my outline here? I think that's fine. Okay, that looks good, that looks good, that looks good. Yeah. I think that's all good. I wonder what this would look like in the app. So let's say I don't have this anymore. Instead, I now have, let me just do this. Probably should have done this to begin with. Actually, I'm gonna have to do this. something that kind of looks like that. Yeah, do I want it, or do I want it like this? I could almost have it cut. It looks like I could. Oh, what would that look like? Let's see. I could double these. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ah. Uneven. I was thinking about splitting it in half and doing something like this, where basically I would move the other half up here. But no, I think this might be fine. And let's just say how should I do this? Then move this up like this. Then just, ugh. Let's see. No easy way of doing this since that's checkered. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to copy the checkered area, paste over it. Actually, I should just go all the way down here. Just like that. Yeah, I think those icons look fine. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to add this now to my little Paint app. Yeah, this should be interesting. All right, I think that'll be it for now. I'm gonna have to incorporate these icons into this panel. Maybe have like an option up here to swap between large and small icons. Yeah, maybe it should just be a button up here. Just click it and boom, swap. Maybe I should have a button for showing and hiding this too. Yeah, I don't like having, to click on like multiple things. I like to be able to just click things directly. But I know it's kind of bad design in the sense that you don't want to overwhelm the user with all these options. So sometimes it's better to bury stuff. But I don't know. I think I'll have to mess around more with my UI. See where I want this to go. Yeah, Yeah, I'm just gonna I think the next thing I'm gonna do is just make those little ICO, convert these to ICO files and integrate them into the resource file for the project. That's just super tedious, so I'm not gonna stream that. All right, with that, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Adios.